Here are a few more advanced exercises working on overhead control. So these exercises allow a little more weight through the arms to strengthen these positions. And we're going to focus on two things here: moving in and out of that overhead position, and then maintaining that overhead position and working on scapular control. We'll start here with a modified version of the downward facing dog. So beginning in the hands and knees position, keep your knees bent, but lift them off the floor. Shift most of your weight onto your hands. Focus on driving those hands through the floor to lift your hips up into this downward facing dog, and use the shoulders to control that descent back down. So you can see I'm really leaning forwards here, just weight on my toes in terms of the lower body. Most of my weight is being pushed through my hands to create this motion. And you can also work on holding this position and playing with your shoulder blade control. So that's what I'm doing here, maintaining overhead positioning, pulling those shoulder blades up and down, forwards and backwards, and really just kind of playing around with it and seeing what I can do and what's challenging for me, and working on being able to control all of these different movements while still staying overhead. If you feel pretty good with doing these motions on the floor, then you can progress by elevating your feet onto a box, a chair, a couch, a bed. Really anything works. I'm using a 20-inch box, but this allows for increased weight through the hands, more weight bearing and more of a strengthening component, and it allows you to really achieve that complete vertical overhead position. So, and again, you can work on moving in and out of the position and also holding that position, and I'm playing with that shoulder blade control now that I'm maintaining that overhead position as well. Next, we can work on overhead mobility in the seated position. So this helps us with our overhead squat, our snatch. So I'm adjusting my feet to be as close to a squat position as I can. And I'm first practicing raising those arms overhead, again trying to get those arms as high and as far back as I can. Now I'm using a PVC pipe here, but you could do this with a light bar or a weighted bar depending on how strong you are. And also I'm working on that scapular control. Again, just holding that bar overhead and being able to elevate those shoulder blades, pull them down towards my hips, squeeze them back behind me, roll them forwards. All the same motions that we did in the previous exercise. And now I'm going to start moving into lifting off the box and maintaining a little bit of an overhead squat. There we go. So keeping those arms overhead, just coming off the box and holding that position temporarily. I could hold this longer. I could go a little deeper off of the box. Just depends on your abilities. So I'll show you from the side here. Again, I'm sitting in that almost a squat position, raising those arms up and back as high and as far as I can, and then maintaining that position and playing with that scapular control. So here you can really see I'm elevating those shoulder blades, depressing them down towards my hips, squeezing them back, rolling them forwards, just playing with the different motions of the shoulder blades that I can do while maintaining that overhead position. And now we're going to work on lifting up into that overhead squat. So again, not a terribly deep squat here. You could go off the box and then go down deeper if you wanted. You could be on a lower surface if you wanted to work on really deeper squats. But this is a good place to start. And just holding for a few seconds, you could increase the length of the hold to make this more challenging. You could have a weighted bar to make this more challenging. And you just want to play around with it.